What's going on, team? This is episode 3 in my little series of getting creative with your photography at home. And in this video, I'm going to show you 3 ways that I got creative with self-portraits. Now, the only things that you guys are going to need in order to pull off the same idea, except from your regular camera gear, is your phone and some toilet roll. Because these ideas are so good, you're going to shit yourself with excitement. I'm just kidding. We're going to need this later. Okay, so it's no lie that I have been playing video games a lot, and I'm sure most of you have too if you're into that sort of thing. There doesn't seem to be too much on offer except that right now. So I have been indulging in Fortnite. I've been playing Smash Brothers, Zelda, but the majority of the time has been Fortnite. So I had this idea of creating a portrait where my face was lit partly by the screen, because Fortnite's blue on its little title screen, and I thought that'd be a really cool idea. I've also got an orange light in the back here that I thought I would use as a side light just to balance out that orange to blue. So I went ahead and I set it up. I set myself up and the camera in front of the TV, positioned myself at the right height, got the light sorted and dialed in the settings, and now I'm going to show you my process going through that. This is the photo that I ended up with, and as you know, this is only stage 1. We are going to go ahead and edit it. So let's fling this image through Lightroom and see what we come out with. Now I did edit this image quite heavily because I was wanting to go for that sort of neon in the dark sort of look for the portrait. The disadvantage with that is for some reason my camera switched to JPEG. I always shoot in RAW, so I've got as much scope with editing as possible. But when I checked the photo after slaving away through that whole process you saw, I found out that it was JPEG. So I decided to work with what I had, and it still turned out not bad. The quality is a little disintegrated, but I think on the whole, pretty good effort, especially for being JPEG. Just a quick little bullet point here for those of you that don't know the difference between RAW and JPEG. RAW essentially is better in a lot of circumstances because it allows us to edit the image further without deteriorating the quality. JPEG you can still edit to some extent, but you are limited in the amount that you can do so before the quality deteriorates. And that is why I shoot RAW all the time. For our second self-portrait, we're going to need both of our accessories. We're going to need the toilet roll and we're going to need our phone. Now, not a lot of good things have come from the toilet paper over-purchasing and frenzy that happened almost 2-3 weeks ago now. But it did inspire this photo, and it did give me an idea of what I could use the inside of this toilet roll for, along with the spotlight on my phone. So let's run through the process of building up this self-portrait and then see what we end up with at the end to edit. So because I got my camera settings on the last self-portrait, this is now back to shooting raw. And this photo is an entirely different style. I feel like it's a more classical style. I feel like it's minimalist and that it probably shouldn't be as punchy as last time. So let's jump into Lightroom and see what my edit process was and the end product of that. I actually quite like how this one's turned out. It's got that sort of classic feel, and I've put a little bit of film fade in the edit, as you saw, just to really accentuate that and bring it through. I love the spotlight. It almost reminds me of the moon in this instance because I'm standing there looking happy. If you wanted to try this yourself and maybe recreate like an angrier face or something, it could look like a spotlight in a prison break, or I don't know, there are more possibilities there for sure. And for such a simple idea, it might be worth exploring just how much you can get from this idea. On to self-portrait number 3. Now, in all honesty here, I did have a bit of help because it involves light painting, so I'm going to need my cell phone again. What I did with this was bring up a solid block color on the screen, solid block orange color on the phone to go along with the orange that was on the light that we used in the first self-portrait. And I tried to match the orange color as much as possible, but as close as possible is good, doesn't have to be exact. So I had used this method before. I'd used this as a purple block color when I did some portraits in winter, and it turned out really well. It wasn't too bright and it wasn't too hard to move the phone around. Sometimes it's difficult moving a torch around so that it doesn't flare. And this way became one of my go-to ways to do light painting on the go. Of course, there is a way to do this yourself. You could take your portrait yourself and then stand behind the area that you did your portrait and paint and then blend those photos together. In this case, I had some help and I took advantage of having that help to make the process easier. Now, I did record this whole process on GoPro. It is quite dark, but I'll try and lighten it up and show you the process of doing it and just how many attempts were made on this. It is quite difficult to get. It is quite difficult to get both the light in the right place and you staying completely still, even a slight movement, because we are dealing with a shutter speed of between 2 and 4 seconds here just to be able to capture that light trail that's going through. So things to keep in mind: keeping still and making sure you have a plan for the person doing the light painting to be moving as well, because if they stay still, they're going to be in the picture where they stood still. But apart from all those things to think about, it is a really fun activity, and if you are able to do it with someone, it is a great experience creating this art with someone else. And if you have to do it yourself, it's also an amazing achievement to be able to do that and then blend it in post. So good on you. So after those extensive trials of getting that light painting, here's my favorite of the bunch. My light painting helper said that I should have some sort of Goku hair. So this is the light painting emanation of Super Saiyan hair, apparently. In my opinion, it actually looks like it's more like a light leak. So in my editing process that you'll see in a second, I opted for a more filmic look with a definitive band in the middle of the photo to show off that light leak and the portrait. And in my opinion, I think it suits the photo. Let's check out that edit process and see what you think. So there we have it, 3 out of the box ideas for self-portraits at home. I might do a natural light video in the future on how to get the best self-portraits using natural light. I'm definitely going to do a video on using your phone only for photography, because I know more of us out there have our phones than have all this camera gear, so it'd be quite good to give you guys something to do too. If you like what you saw in this video, by all means try it out, and please do tag me on Instagram. I would be frothing to see what it is that you come up with. These are examples that fit with me in terms of playing my video games and giving it some sort of relevance to me, and then having a bit of fun with some lighting and some light painting. The options are endless really. These are just 3 creative ideas that I had and I put them on this video. Go wild, go crazy, show me what you've got. Love to see it. With that being said, also give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe. Support the channel. And now, I'm out of here. See you in the next video.